Love, a burning desire in the human soul, a sacred gift that everyone longs to receive. But is it possible to pray to find true love? And if so, why do some people remain alone? These questions have echoed through the centuries, resonating in the hearts of those searching for love, from bustling streets to lonely rooms, from longing gazes to silent tears. To truly understand, we must return to the very source of love, where the Bible portrays love not merely as an emotion, but as a fundamental part of God's divine plan. The Bible affirms that God is love, 1 John 4:8, and He created humanity in His image to love and be loved. In Genesis 2:18, He declared, "It is not good for man to be alone." This was not merely an observation about solitude, but an assurance that God cares about human emotional needs. He created Eve for Adam, not only to alleviate loneliness, but to reflect the loving relationship He desires with mankind. This establishes a crucial premise. If love is part of God's plan, then praying for true love is not only reasonable, but an act of faith. Jesus said, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you." Matthew 7:7. This is a powerful promise of reception when one seeks with a sincere heart. Praying to find true love is not a selfish request, but a plea to enter into a meaningful relationship that mirrors God's love. When someone prays for love, they are not merely asking for a companion, but for a love founded on sacred values, sincerity, faithfulness, and compassion. But if such a prayer is righteous, why do some remain alone? The answer is not simple. God has a perfect timing for everything, Ecclesiastes 3:1, and sometimes waiting is part of His plan. Just as a seed needs time to sprout, true love requires preparation to bloom at the right moment. Not everyone is immediately ready for love, and often solitude is a necessary journey to refine the soul, preparing a person to become a better lover before entering a relationship. There are also instances where God has a different plan. The Apostle Paul stated in 1 Corinthians 7:7, "I wish that all of you were as I am. But each of you has your own gift from God. One has this gift, another has that." Paul remained unmarried, yet he did not see it as a loss. He understood that some are called to a life of singleness, not because they are undeserving of love, but because God has a greater purpose for them. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is sometimes an invitation to embark on a deeper journey with God. Thus, praying to find true love is not only possible, but also an invitation to step into God's divine plan. However, the answer does not always come immediately, nor does it always come in the way we expect. What truly matters is not just finding a partner, but becoming a worthy partner, one who is ready to love in the way that God has taught. Love is not merely about finding someone. It is also about preparing oneself to be the right person when love arrives. The Bible not only encourages us to pray for love, but also emphasizes the importance of cultivating a heart worthy of love. We often ask God for a good partner, but rarely do we ask ourselves whether we have become someone worthy of such love. Proverbs 31:10 describes a virtuous wife as being far more precious than rubies. And this applies to both men and women. A person truly worthy of love is one whose value goes far beyond external qualities. Becoming a worthy partner does not mean being perfect, but it is a journey of growth in faith, patience, and unconditional love. 1 Corinthians 13:4-7 defines love as God intends for us to practice it. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. This passage teaches that before asking for a lasting love, we must first ask ourselves if we are capable of loving in this way. If our hearts are still filled with jealousy, pride, or selfishness, are we truly ready to receive a complete and fulfilling love? One reason many remain single despite their prayers is that they seek love on their own terms rather than trusting in God. We often become impatient, trying to control the timing and manner in which love arrives, instead of allowing God to lead the way. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This means that rather than attempting to manipulate our love story, we should trust that God has a perfect plan and that love will come at the right time if we walk in obedience and faith. Moreover, some people continuously search for love without truly understanding the value of solitude. Sometimes, loneliness is not a punishment, but an opportunity to learn self-love and deepen our relationship with God. Throughout His ministry, Jesus Himself often withdrew to pray alone with the Father, Luke 5:16. If He, the very embodiment of perfect love, needed time alone with God, then surely we, as imperfect beings, need time to strengthen our personal relationship with Him as well. Perhaps the season of solitude is the very time when God is refining us, teaching us about true love, a love that does not depend on people, but originates from Him. If someone seeks love merely to fill the emptiness in their heart, they may easily fall into unhealthy relationships, looking for love in the wrong places. But if one understands that human love can never replace the love of God, they will enter a relationship from a place of fullness rather than lack. Therefore, when praying to find love, the most important thing is not just to find someone to love, but to understand the deeper meaning of love, that it is a reflection of God's love for humanity. When the heart is prepared in the right way, when the soul is ready to love as He desires, true love will come, not just as a temporary relationship, but as a lasting love sustained by God's grace. True love is not something that human effort alone can grasp. It is a gift from God. The Bible makes it clear that He is the source of love, and every fulfilling relationship reflects His love. 1 John 4:7-8 states, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love." This is the essence of true love. A love that does not come from mere desire or personal need, but is a reflection of God's very nature. But if God is love, why do some people pray earnestly yet still not find someone to love? The answer may lie in the fact that God is preparing the best, rather than what people think is best. Just as a father does not rush to give his child everything they want, God does not grant love according to human timelines, but according to His perfect plan. This is evident in the story of Abraham and Sarah. They waited for God's promise of a child for many years, and in their waiting they tried to create the outcome on their own. Genesis 16. But in the end, only when they learned the lesson of trust did God give them Isaac, the child of promise. Likewise, in love, waiting is never meaningless. If someone is still single, it may be because God is preparing a strong and lasting relationship rather than a fleeting one. Psalm 37:4 states, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." This means that when we find our joy and priority in God rather than in seeking someone to love, He Himself will give us what is best according to His will. Another reason many people remain single is that they have not yet truly healed. A past filled with pain can make someone unprepared for new love. If a person has experienced betrayal, heartbreak, or loss, they may unconsciously build walls that keep love away. The Bible teaches that love keeps no record of wrongs, 1 Corinthians 13:5. But when a heart is wounded, people tend to be defensive and distrustful, even toward those with good intentions. God desires for us to be healed before entering a relationship, because a healthy love can only exist between two souls that are free from fear and the burdens of the past. Moreover, true love is not just an emotion, it is also a responsibility. If a person is not ready to take responsibility for love, meaning they are not yet prepared to sacrifice, be patient, forgive, and remain faithful, then God may delay giving them love so they have time to learn these important lessons. Ephesians 5:25 teaches, "Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Love, according to God's standard, is not shallow or selfish. It is about devotion and sacrifice. If someone is not ready to love in this way, the love they seek will never be complete. So can we pray to find true love? The answer is yes, but more importantly, we must pray with the right attitude. If we pray simply to escape loneliness, just to have someone by our side without being willing to build an authentic love, God may not answer right away. But if we pray with trust, with a heart ready to be transformed and to grow in His love, then love will surely come. Not too early, not too late, but at the most perfect time.